So today we are going to talk about making fertilizer water. This is our garden. We do our garden in pots because we rent, so we're not able to dig into the ground and plant things into the ground, but we still want to be able to feed ourselves, and we still want to be able to grow what we want to grow. So we chose to do everything in pots. So what we're going to do today, as you can see, we do pretty decent with our little pot garden. It's got its, it's doing its thing, All right, so what we're going to do today on Black in the Garden is we are going to show you how we make fertilizer water. It's a super easy way, absolutely free way to be able to fertilize your plants without having to spend any money, and your plants are going to absolutely love this. I'm definitely not saying that you shouldn't use any other kind of fertilizer, but this is a great thing to use in addition to everything else you're using. Alright, so the first thing that you need to know and that you will need is fresh cut grass. And we just got our grass cut today, so it's actually going to work perfectly. Alrighty, so first things first. What you are going to need are, of course, your ingredients. And your ingredients are so crazy simple, it's ridiculous. All you need is something to put everything in, fresh cut grass or leaves or fresh roughage of any kind. Preferably fresh, because that way all the nutrients from the dead things haven't already gone back into the ground. So you want it as fresh as possible. So we got our fresh cut grass here, and we're going to put as much as we can into this bucket. We only use a small bucket here, and I'll definitely tell you why either later in this video or in later update videos about this. But we don't need a lot, especially because we don't have a lot of plants. So I think this is more than enough for the garden that we have. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so we got to put as much grass in here as we can, and we'll try to fill this up quite a bit. And like I said, the fresher the better. So we'll put all our grass in here. Okay, so you want to fill your bucket up with quite a bit of grass clippings or roughage or whatever you want to call it. So you want to put quite a bit in there, because if you cook, it's kind of like greens. We about to put some water in this thing and let it simmer and cook and stew or whatnot, and it's going to shrink down. The grass that I have in here is going to slowly go down into the container as it fertilizes the water. So we have it full all up with our grass right now. So now I have Ashley, my daughter, going to get our water so that we can continue this. So while she's doing that, just real quick, just to kind of give you an idea of what we have going on with our little pot garden. It's not a lot, but as soon as I started using this fertilizer water, number one, my asparagus, I think I've had this asparagus in the ground maybe 6 months, and I've already grown 4 stalks on it. I'm hoping that by next season they'll be ready to harvest and eat. They're supposed to get like that big around or so it looks like I still have a few more that need to grow and die off before they're ready to eat. But okay, I digress. Back to the fertilizer water. Alright, so we have our water, and we have our bucket of grass, fresh cut grass clippings, roughage, whatever you have in your bucket. And now we are going to pour water into it. And you're going to want to fill this up as much as you can with water. Try to get everything covered down. So see how I told y'all when you fill it up all the way, how it's gonna cook down a little bit? So it's already cooking down just from adding that water in there, or shrinking down, whatever you want to call it. So it's going down when you add that water in there. Okay? So we're going to just add as much as we can. We can't even see the water yet. Alright, so there you can see the water in there, and we have our roughage in there, we have our water in there, and this is going to be the only time y'all ever see me touch this. So you see, it's a good amount of water, good amount of roughage. That's pretty decent. That's good enough to work for us for this time. So I have this in my front yard right now while I put everything together, but I do this on the side of my house, away from where we come in and out, away from where company usually walks. So let's bring that over there now, and we'll go ahead and finish this up because this fertilizer is almost ready to go ahead and start simmering. Okay, so I have it over here on the side of my house, and we are going to do our first stir. So what you're going to want to do is really get in there and kind of mush everything around, shift everything around to get the water really flowing through stuff and really trying to get those nutrients up out of there. So the reason that I put it over here on the side of my house, the reason that you'll only see me touch it that first day, the reason that I don't recommend doing a ton of this stuff to just have around is because it starts to smell. Baby, let me tell you, this thing starts to reek. And it makes sense because we're putting a bunch of dead grass into a bunch of water, and it's rotting and fermenting, and it starts to smell like cow manure. Because basically what we're making is what you would get from cow manure. It's the fermented grasses and roughage and what comes off of that. So it works essentially the same way. It smells the same way, and it gets pretty bad. And once you put it on in your garden is going to smell that same way, at least for the day, at least. So there you have it. Super duper easy way to fertilize your garden ridiculously. You are guaranteed to get some growth from this because it's nothing but nutrients and water. Where can you go wrong, right? So there you have it. Whenever you want, whenever you have a chance, if you want to try, definitely try to make this fertilizer water. Grass clippings, roughage clippings, water, bucket, stir. You need to leave this in here about 7 days. Stir about once a day, and you're good to go. Okay, so this is day 2 of the fertilizer water, and you see it's been puffed back up a little bit, and you just go back in and you stir it around a little bit, and it's going to be foamy like this the first day and possibly even the second day, but that's what you want. That's that bacteria in there really doing its thing, really just turning this water into something that your plants are going to just love is this. So second day, you just stir it up with your stick or a pole or whatever. Do not put your hands in there. It's gross. So it didn't start to stink yet because it's just the first day, but you're going to see that the flies are going to gather around it, and it's going to be foamy like this just for a couple of days though. This is just the second day we've had this in here. So you stir it around real good, get everything mixed up, and you just do this once a day for 7 days. So we will come back tomorrow and we'll stir it up some more. Alright, so here we are. It is day 3, and again you see the bucket, the nasty, the flies. Alright, so now is the day 3 of stirring. So just like yesterday, you just push everything down and stir. And you see there are a lot less bubbles this time than there were last time. Look at me just wasting that liquid gold. Okay. A lot less bubbles, but still a little bit of bubbles because it's still fermenting. It's still doing its thing in here. It's starting to stink a little bit, but it's not so bad. The next few days is when it's going to get ripe. So stir. This is day 3, if you count the day we put it in here, yesterday, and now today. Whew, yeah, it stinks. It stinks. I lied, y'all. I lied. It stinks. It stinks pretty bad. Lord have mercy. Okay. Till tomorrow. Alrighty, so we are at day 5 of our fertilizer water. So I skipped a couple of days of filming it because nothing's really going on. You just kind of stir it up every day, once a day, just like we've been doing. Try not to get it on yourself because by day 5, this is so stank. It's so stank. It's just, it's going to wreak havoc on your nose. But stir it up real good. You see everything has kind of just gone all the way down almost to the water level here. So stir it up. We got 2 more days and then I will show you how to filter everything out so that it is ready for your garden. And you're gonna want to use it that day. There we go. Alright, so voila. Alright, here we are on day 7. It is time to strain out the grass and get our fertilizer tea for our plants good and going. Alright, so I use a stick, but use whatever you want or whatever you have and just scoop out all this. It stinks really bad. Try not to get sick. And just scoop it all out. I wouldn't recommend putting your hands in here because it stinks really, really bad. Okay, so we've gotten all the grass out and I didn't get sick, thank goodness. So now the next part, you need a old shirt or old towel or something to strain and a second bucket. So you're gonna take your water and try to grab a part that did not get nasty and strain it into your second bucket. And goodness, try your best not to get sick. Okay. Do a little bit of this. And I would recommend throwing this away, whatever you strain it through, because don't take it in your house. It stinks so bad. Okay, so we'll come back and get that. So now we have our fertilizer water. Gross. It's full of nutrition for your plants. They're going to love it. All right, so pause. Go. Alright, so now we have our disgusting water and we are going to pour it into our plants, only a little bit on into each one of your plants or each section of your plants. It stinks really bad. Your whole garden is alrighty, so that's as much as I had to be able to pour on all my plants, just so you can kind of get a look and see what's going on. These plants are going to stink and smell like poop for about a day, maybe even 2, but your plants are going to love it. My peppers have really flourished, and this is something that I use in my garden probably about once, maybe every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, just to get everything really going and really fertilized. You're going to have a lot of flies around your garden the first day, but they'll go away because it smells like poop, so they think that's what it is. But your garden is going to love this fertilizer water, Give it a try. I know you're going to like it.